Hey, what's up everyone? It's Dolbeck. Today we are gonna speak about the soldier. The soldier is one of the new archetype that they put in New World Aeternum. There's nothing new to it for some people like me that started at the start of the game of New World. The sword and shield and hatchet has been one of the best combo to level up since the start of the game. So you just put the sword and shield and the hatchet and speed run the game as fast as you can. It's the best thing you can do. And then when you reach max level, then you kind of have some choice at this place because you're gonna be mainly a tank. Everyone is seeking a tank everywhere. In dungeon, you're gonna have the easiest spot to find into a dungeon is a tank. Everyone want to be DPS, and so tank and healer, it's easier to find a spot. So you just put a hammer and you do sword and shield and hammer, and you're gonna be able to tank dungeon with that, and that's gonna be easy, really, really easy. The sword and shield and hammer, it's brain dead. It's even good in PvP too. You can go in OPR with that, and like it's amazing. But like if you go in PvP, you better to change because the sword and shield is amazing to do a lot of things. Like you can use sword and shield and great sword. It's one of the, it's so fun to play. Seriously, sword and shield and great sword, sword and shield and hatchet. But the sword and shield and hatchet is more like a light armor build, and you're gonna go chase the healer and the light armor around. While the sword and shield and great sword is more like a clump fight. You can make an assassin's build with it, but the there's better combo. Like the if I take Sword and Shield and Great Axe as example, you're gonna be able to chase the people around better than with a Great Sword, only because you're gonna have the Reap and there's a haste when you look at someone with the Great Axe, so it's easier to chase people. You still can do really good with Sword and Shield and Great Sword. It's a nice combo. But yeah, when you're gonna get into the onslaught stance, you get squishy, stuff like that. So if you get a bot lobby, you can pop off really hard. But if you get against really good people, they're gonna punish you for going in onslaught stance. So yeah, that depends on the level of the player you are playing against. And it's everything the same in all the game I've played in multiplayer. If you play easy lobby, you don't really need to use the meta, but when you start to play against really good people, you need to use the meta because there's just nothing to do about it. So, for the soldier, you see you're gonna do some dungeon. It's really important to do dungeon, or it's fun to do dungeon and mutation. I spend so much time doing dungeon. So before doing a dungeon, you're the tank. Remember, your role is very, very important. Even if it's the easiest role, if you do it wrong, you're gonna waste like everyone in your group time, like 15 minutes per dungeon just for doing the wrong thing. So before doing a dungeon, like you can do it once in normal mode just to live the experience, all right? So you don't get spoiled too much. And then you go look video, you go look tutorial how to run the dungeon in high mutation, and then you go run it in M1 and 2 and M3 with the run. Like you go look the tank POV and you follow the same path that the other tank do and the same pull. You pull the same number of mob of that tank. You don't go pull one more stack. You're gonna kill your healer, alright? Believe me, if you pull too much, you need to have a good team. You can pull the whole map if you have a good team, but if you play with random people, don't do that. Please, like, I've seen some people getting into a random group and then just pulling the whole map and dying, and then everyone was dying and then they was leaving. It was so bad. It's like some of the worst dungeon experience you can have in your world is exactly that. The tank run, die, and leave. Like, I'm pretty sure this shit happened in like World of Warcraft 2 and like Myth Plus. So yeah, um, with the sword and shield and great axe, right now it's one of my favorite combo. Even if I did not play it that much, like the this build make you a one-man army straight up. Like if you're solo queuing into OPR or just chasing healer, you can be light, medium, or AV. You just gonna catch up to them. Even in AV armor, the healer just cannot run away from you because of the great axe. You have charge, reap, you have the leaping strike from the sword and shield. You can stun it. Man, there's just nothing he can do, and that healer or the mage you're gonna fight, he need help. There's someone that need to come and help him because if he's alone against you, it's just over. There's nothing to do. Oh, and let's speak about Sword and Shield and Spear. I don't know why I did not speak about Sword and Shield and Spear. The most toxic and cancer build in the game. It's so good though. It's so good and fun to play and easy, really, really easy to play. Like if your girlfriend come into the game and she don't know what to play and she want the easiest role, you just make her play Disruptor with Sword and Shield and Spear and she's gonna even be able to do war and be better than some other people who don't even know what they are doing. So yeah, when I think about that, I don't know why I'm just starting to speak about Sword and Shield and Spear. Maybe my brain wanted to forget the Sword and Shield and Spear, but this build is so strong. Just imagine like you have the most tankiness, the build that is the most tanky is the sword and shield, and then you have the spear that is like you don't have that much movement, but nobody can get near you without getting punished by you. Like even the bruiser, like even a tank, he's getting close to a spear, you need to take care of what he's doing because a spear gonna reduce the tank armor with like rend, TC, and then the tank have less armor, so it's easier to kill. It's just like that, and yeah. But you're gonna see what happen is people use sword and shield and spear and to just face each other like that. But because the spear don't have that much stamina damage, so people hit themselves. Oh, I'm getting low. I'm gonna gain back my health. I'm blocking, and then they going with the spear and they just face each other like that in war, and they just don't die. Like nobody is just fucking died. Those war getting boring after a moment. Like I really like small scale PvP or like just no, not small scale PvP. I like PvP when it's like just everyone come with all their build and just do whatever they want, just what I mean. And sometimes there's a group here and there, but in war it was fun, but like New World is not made to be a competitive game. They kinda what happened is in New World is they took off everything that is competitive. They took off everything that is grindy, and at the end it's so casual that if you've played competitive into other game and then you go play competitive in New World, you feel like it's casual. It's so casual and like everybody is like a big damage sponge that you hit each other with pillow like that during an hour and nobody fucking die and it just lasts forever and this is just how the win in New World War feel like. This is it. Seriously? Um, you want to do a New World War against some of the best people in the game? Man, just be prepared to hit people with a pillow like that during hour and hour. They're gonna retreat and come back as soon as they're gonna get low in health, and that's it. And seriously, maybe the stagger change gonna change something in that fight dynamic, but the reason why that dynamic is like that, for the first reason, is because they nerfed the stamina non-stop. They nerfed. So the people with eye movement, they lose their role. They have no more place into the war. Like, okay, you have eye movement, but what else? Like, you can reach a healer, but the healer have three other healer healing him. Like, they have people with sword and shield and spear surrounding the healer. Like, it just make no sense. They like I like New World very, very much, but my part that I like is like the open world PvP. You see the OPR. Like this is why I always ask it for the new OPR map. I'm really wondering why is there only one OPR map after 3 year release? I don't understand. This is ugh. So yeah, you're gonna realize as a tank. Sorry, I was like going away from the discussion. As a tank, you're gonna have to carry your team sometime. You're gonna see there's some boss fight, they are pretty hard, and then you're the only one left alive at the end and you finish the boss. It's gonna happen maybe 30% of your match. Mostly if you're playing with random people, 30% and more. So yeah, get ready to for that and don't rage too much after your teammate because listen, if you only have been a tank, you're gonna do stuff that's gonna make your teammate die because you need to play every role to know, okay, so you're the tank, but you don't know that you're doing something wrong till you've been the healer that is dying because the tank is doing something wrong. You see what I mean? Like, it's pretty hard to see what is happening to the healer POV when you're tanking a bunch of mob. Like, when you're gonna play the other role around, you're gonna see more the global thing around, and you're gonna be a better tank. Like I feel like the best tank in the game most of the time did all the role because if you're just tanking and tanking, you just don't understand why your teammate dies sometimes, and it's because of you. And I've seen some really great tank that was just tanking on Lee, and like the dude was watching anime of tank, and like dude was just always speaking about tanking, but it's his weakness is that it's because he's not open to understand the other people around him. Like, yeah, I think I'm clear about this. Like, if you want to be a good tank, try to understand your teammate. Try to watch video about which route you need to take into dungeon. This is really important. In war, you're gonna see there's two tank per war usually. It's Sword and Shield, Ice Gauntlet, I think right now. It changed a lot. Sometimes it's Sword and Shield, Void Gauntlet, Sword and Shield, Flail, Void Gauntlet, Flail, Ice Gauntlet. You see, there's some variant. There was some moment it was Blunderbuss, Void Gauntlet, Blunderbuss, Ice Gauntlet. I like it, those. It was fun. Just into the clump. Pop, 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 pop. Nobody died, but yeah, but people was dying with the blunderbuss way more than the flail. The flail is even more like hitting with a pillow. Like I did not even speak about the flail almost during this video because the flail is it's kind of fun, but it does no DPS, so it's kind of boring at the same time. Like you're gonna have way more fun playing with those other weapon that I spoke about. And if you go in those two spots that have a tank in war, you better be a shot caller because this is more like shot caller spot. People just how to say that it's some comfort build that the people go in to feel safe to be able to shot call and just take some space at the same time on the point and look around it. It's a good place to see what is happening and tell where the clump is forming at and calling the crashes and baiting the crashes. As a shot caller, if you can bait the crashes, it's way easier to call the crashes that you baited. If that makes sense, I think yes. So yeah, um, this is the job of the tank. Basically, in war, is to bait crashes, and then you don't stun the crashes and take all the damage into it. You just declump, like the people say. You make a clump and then spread. Just you fake clump, kinda. This is the main strategy of the war right now, and everything that is happening around is almost useless. Like I've been a mage and it was almost useless. Even if I was killing healer after healer, like even if I had like 16 to 20 kill of healer in a war, if my bruiser and my tank was not doing the right thing, we were just not winning. The New World War is mostly just a bruiser and a tank war, and yeah, now I have to say that if you play with a sword and shield, yeah, you almost better to be with a spear than a flail. You can have way more fun. Sword and shield and spear in PvP, it's the easiest shit ever. But yeah, if you like stuff that is like less brain dead than Sword and Shield and Spear, go to what I said at the start of the video. But yeah, if you want to be brain dead and just have a build that is meta that you are sure that you're gonna be able to do war with it, invest on Sword and Shield and Spear. You're gonna have a blast, I guess. Yep. So I guess this is it for this video. If I forget something, tell me into the comment section. And I'm always open. Have a good day. Peace out.
He's a phantom in the night, moving with grace. Sweaty players tremble when they see his face. Domin's on the prowl, like a wolf in the dark, leaving his mark with every silent spark. He's a ghost in the night. Sweaty players run, but they can't hide. Domin's on the hunt, like a horror scene. Blazing harpoons, he's a silent scream. He's a shadow in the fray, taking down the foes, making them pay. Domin's on the move, like a deadly dream. Knives and stars, he's the ultimate team. Rest over rest, they play in a pack, but he clips them all, no looking back. Agriculturist with the battlefield, reaping souls, his fate is sealed. From cover to cover, he moves like a breeze, using shadows, bringing teams to the knees. Flanking the squad, knocking them down. Back to back, he's the king of this town. With a ton in hand, he slices through air. Enemies fall, caught in a snare. Harpoons fly, sticking like glue. Domin's the name and he's coming for you. He's a ghost in the night. Sweating players run, but they can't hide. Domin's on the hunt, like a horror scene. Blazing harpoons, he's the silent scream. He's a shadow in the fray, taking down the foes, making them pay. Domin's on the move, like a deadly dream. Knives and stars, he's the ultimate team. From cover to cover, he moves like a breeze, using shadows, bringing teams to the knees. Flanking the squad, knocking them down. Back to back, he's the king of this town. Precision and skill, he strikes with might. In the dead of the night, he's a fearsome sight. No gun in his hand, just blades and bows. Domin's a legend, everyone knows. He hunts like a predator, silent and swift. Through the battlefield, he moves with a gift. Sweaty players scatter, trying to flee, but Domin's the master of this killer spree. He's a ghost in the night. Sweating players run, but they can't hide. Domin's on the hunt, like a horror scene. Blazing harpoons, he's the silent scream. He's a shadow in the fray, taking down the foes, making them pay. Domin's on the move, like a deadly dream. Knives and stars, he's the ultimate team. In the heat of the battle, he stands tall. Enemies crumble, they all fall. With a flick of his wrist, knives take flight. Domin's the terror in the dead of night. He moves like a ghost, unseen and heard. Every strike precise, every move assured. From the shadows, he comes like a whisper of death, leaving behind just a cold, solid breath. With a harpoon in hand, he takes aim. Sweaty players know they'll never be the same. Domin's the hunter in his deadly game, leaving his mark with every claim.